Yeah, recording has started. So today we are going to discuss about this MOS inverters, right? The basics of this MOS inverter you already know. In different courses it has been done. Even in introduction to the electronics, we have briefly discussed about this MOS inverters, right? So why this MOS inverter is so important, okay, for digital circuit design or digital IC design? That is because this inverter is the most fundamental logic gate, right? Because there is only one, and also it is quite type of easy, right, to implement it because there is only one, one single input variable is there, right? So in other way, we can say that this inverter is the one of the most fundamental logic gate that perform the Boolean operation on a single input variable, right? So that is the reason. Basically, it is the one of the most fundamental gate, okay, in digital IC design, and we will spend good amount of time in understanding the design and analysis of this inverter. Okay, and if we understand that, then the other analysis as well as the design of other bit more complicated gates like AND gate, NAND gate, NOR gate, that will be a bit easier for us, right? So in other way, we can also say that inverter design uh, forms the significant basis for the digital circuit design, as the principles employed in this design and analysis of this MOS inverter, this can be directly applied to more complex logic gate such as NOR, NAND, etc. Right? So without further delay, then let us move forward and let us start our discussion on this MOS inverter. Okay, so whenever we say this MOS inverter, right? If I say like MOS inverter, then obviously from digital into digital electronics course, you know that this inverter is represented by this symbol, right? Right, where it's a truth table can be given by this, right? When the input is at logic 0, then the output is at 1, logic 1. When the input is at logic 1, the output is at logic 0, right? Okay, so here this is the input and this is the output, right? This is the symbol and this is the truth table, right? So this is the output and this is input. So if this is the output and this is the input, and if I ask you, can you draw what is the voltage transfer characteristics of this particular inverter? Voltage transfer characteristics means you have to plot the output versus input characteristics, right? Okay, and let us consider that this inverter for the time being is an ideal inverter, right? So when the input is low, right, then the output is expected to be high, right? Logic 1. And as it is ideal inverter, let's say that when this input is low, the output is high, like this, right? Then when the input is high, let's say for like this, these values, then the output will be low, right? Logic 0. So say like output is logic 0. Logic 0 means ideal inverter. It should be the minimum voltage available in that particular circuit. So for example, suppose if you are considering plus 5 volt is the maximum voltage and ground or 0 volt is the minimum voltage, then you can expect that this will be plus 5 volt and this level is expected to be 0 volt, right? Okay, and what will happen in between? So in between, if it is an ideal inverter, so the change between this logic 1 and logic 0 is expected to be abrupt. Means this should be like this. It's not straight. line that way, it is expected to be this straight line, right? Okay. And if you say that this plus 5 volt is VDD, then you can say maybe this is at VDD by 2, right? This is the point of transition or the transition point, right? Where you are getting the switching, right? That means anything below this VDD by 2, right? Input voltage that would be considered, that will generate an output which is at logic 1 or logic high, and anything any value of input which is higher than VDD by 2, that will generate an output which will be at logic 0. Logic 0 means for this ideal case it is at 0 volt, right? So we can write from here that this is at logic 1, right, output, and this one is at logic 0 output, right? Okay, so you should also remember that we will not use this term again and again, so we call it as voltage transfer characteristics. In short, it is called as VTC. Okay, so we'll be using this notation VTC again and again, huh? Right? Okay. Now, if this is an inverter, right? Right. If I just ask you, say, if this is an inverter, how can you? This is a symbol, right? This is not the way you are going to implement it. There is no device like this with this symbol, right? So you need to implement this one using some transistor. Then how can you implement that? Then, for example, obviously there will be one transistor, right? Like this, say n-channel transistor, whose this part is grounded, and this is the thing we have done in our earlier course, which is a pretty straightforward circuit. This is V out and this is V in. So this is very simple representation or implementation of this inverter in terms of in a circuit diagram, right? Because when this input is 0, the output is, or input is low, output is high. When this input is high, output is low, right? So let us take a bit more generalized example, circuit example of this inverter, and try to make ourselves familiarize with two terms. Okay, the first one is, okay, before I discuss the terms, let me draw the generalized circuit structure. So obviously it is NMOS, so we should have an NMOS, right? And it has to be grounded, you know that. This is the gate terminal of this NMOS, and this is connected with the input voltage, that is the V in, right? On top of that, earlier we have seen we can add one resistor, but to make it general, let us say this part as load, right? So what are the other loads that we can connect here, that we will discuss in our future classes, right? It might be a resistor, it might be a transistor, or it might be different other type of transistors, connected in different ways, right? It might be a depletion type transistor, it might be an enhancement mode transistor. I hope that you have you remember that enhancement mode and depletion mode transistors, right? So if this is VDD and you have connected it like this, then what will happen when this V input is equal to 0 volt? 0 volt means at logic 0, right? When this V input is at logic 0, this transistor is off. By the way, if this is gate terminal, then obviously this is the drain terminal because it is connected with the higher potential VDD, and this is the source terminal, right? So you are applying V in equal to 0, that means basically you are applying VGS, right? So for this transistor, VGS is equal to 0 volt, right? Okay. So what will happen if you have given here 0 volt? So if you have given here 0 volt, the threshold voltage of this transistor is somewhat positive, maybe plus 0.5 volt or maybe 0.6 volt plus, right? So that this transistor will be in off state, no current through the transistor, right? So that means whatever is the voltage here, VDD, that you will get here at this V output, right? We know that already. Okay. Now let me ask you one question. In digital integrated circuit, what do you expect uh, at this output? Means what type of load you do expect at this output? So if you think that this is the output, then obviously this output in digital IC is probably also driving some gate, right? Some gate of another transistor. So here you can think of like, this is connected with another transistor gate. Okay. So gate, between gate and this body, there is an insulation, right? Due to the presence of oxide layer. So no current can flow through this from this gate terminal. No static current, I am saying. Dynamic current can flow. No static current can flow through this transistor. So if I say what is the current flowing through this from this output, static current, that is 0, right? But some dynamic current can flow whenever this capacitor has to be charged or discharged, right? So we can say then at this output, one capacitor is being connected, right? And this capacitor is called the load capacitor, right? So you understand why for digital IC at this output, we generally consider the load to be as this a capacitor, because this output is driving another transistor, right? Another gate of this transistor, right? And there will be an capacitance Cox primarily at this point. We will also see it will not be only the Cox, but other parasitic capacitance will also be coming here. But for this time being, at least we know that Cox will be there. So we can say that the Cl is the contribution of capacitance from the next stage transistor. Fine. Okay. Now let us again come back to this situation when this V input is equal to 0 volt. So when V input equal to 0 volt, this transistor is off. This transistor is off means no current is flowing through the transistor. So here the voltage is VDD, right? Okay. And suppose initially this capacitor was discharged, no voltage across this capacitor, right? So initially the voltage was 0, but as when this V in equal to 0 voltage has been applied, this is off. So one current will flow, okay, just to charge this capacitor. Once this capacitor gets charged, then the flow of current will stop, right? The current will not flow any longer, right? But one current will flow through this to charge this capacitor, right? And its voltage, which was earlier or initially 0, that will be now raised to this VDD, right? So you understand one part from here, that this particular network, whatever be here, okay, is helping the output node voltage to increase or rise, right? So this particular network, which is helping to rise the potential of this output node, is called the pull up network. Is this clear to you? Why it is called pull up network? Because this is helping to rise the potential of this output node. Okay. Now let us consider the other situation when V in is equal to say 5 volt. 5 volt means that logic 1. We are assuming this VDD equal to 5 volt for this case. Right? So when this this is at 5 volt, so VGS is 5 volt, right? So then obviously this transistor is in is conducting. We will see that it which mode it is operating later on, but at least we can say that this transistor is operating. So this transistor is on. So one current will flow through this transistor, that is ID, right? But definitely you can also see this current has to flow from through this load, right? Okay. Now there will be one current. Okay, again say this V out is now charged to VDD, right? And when this current is flowing, this current will try to keep this voltage at VDD, whereas the current which is flowing through this will try to reduce the voltage, right? The capacitor will try to get discharged through this, right? Whereas this current will try to, some part will flow through this and some part will try to charge this capacitor as well. So if the driving capability of this is more than the driving capability of this, then we will finally see this capacitor will get discharged through this transistor, right? So when if this capacitor get discharged, then what will happen to the potential at this output node? It will fall or it will reduce, right? So from that point of view, the network which is helping to reduce the potential of this output node is called this pull down network. So is this clear to you? What is pull up network and what is pull down network? How to design this pull up network and pull down network, and what are the requirements, that we will see slowly. But at least for the time being, now you know what is pull up network and what is pull down network, right? And if we have understood this circuit, and for the time being, if you say that this load is nothing but a resistor, right, then you can also plot the voltage transfer characteristics for this particular circuit, right? So how the voltage transfer characteristics will look like? Let us plot that in the next page, because we have to point out some few points, at least 5 to 6 points in that particular VTC of this circuit. Okay, so obviously now, okay, earlier, before we go to that, earlier what we have seen, the VTC is expected to be, this is the output voltage, this is the input voltage. When we have seen the VTC is like this for ideal case, right? This is for ideal case VTC, but this is not the ideal situation right now, right? So obviously the VTC that we will be getting for this will deviate from this circuit. So how it will deviate? You already know that probably it will not be, the fall it will not be that this sharp or this rise, right? But rather this fall will be quite gradual, like this. Now what will be the value of this voltage? That will depend on the how you are configuring it. If you have a resistor, then we can comment, or you will see that in the later classes that this voltage will be same as that of this VDD, right? Again, if this is resistor, then this voltage will never be equal to 0, right? There will be some finite voltage drop across here. So it will be maybe 0.2, 0.3 volt, right? The minimum voltage. Now, what would be this? I mean, where from it will fall and where means from which point it will start falling until what point it will fall? That also depends on the value of this resistor as well as the transistor parameter, right? So, but before going to those many details, let us first understand from these practical VTC characteristics that what are the points. Because if you do not understand what are those points, then it will be difficult for us to compare different inverter designs. So now we are going to draw this voltage transfer characteristics of, let me maybe if I can use two shapes. No, it is not working. I thought it will make this as a straight line, so that is not working. Right, so this is V in, and here I have to be a bit careful while drawing. Yeah, so this is that V out, right? Okay, and it will fall, the characteristics will be like this. Okay, so this is 0 volt from input point of view as well as from the output point of view also. This is at 0 volt, right? And this is the input voltage increasing, and this is the output voltage increasing in this way, right? So here you see the initially the voltage is close to, means have some highest value, right? But as you are changing this V in, right, after some point of time, means after some point of this V in value, this V output voltage has started falling. It is no longer constant in case of like the ideal inverter VTC, but it has started falling down. So you can see it has started falling down, and during this fall, initially the fall will be quite small, means the slope will be quite small. After that, the slope of this fall, or this V out, dV out by dV in, will be quite significant, right? And that will be almost constant, and after that again that slope will reduce, right? Again it will try to come to the parallel of this x-axis, right? Now here few points. Okay, this the highest voltage that we get from a particular inverter design, if we say that voltage as VOH dash, so notation is like this: V output high, okay, dash, okay, and the minimum voltage that we are getting from this VTC, if we say that this is VOL dash, so V output low, right? So please try to identify these 2 points as the maximum output voltage from this inverter, minimum output voltage from this inverter. Okay, then if we look from this point, right, so here this is flat, right? Here also we'll see that this will be flat, right? But after some time the slope has started increasing. So flat means the slope is 0, right? After that slope has started increasing. So when the slope has started increasing from 0, so obviously at a certain point of time it will reach a slope of -1, right? So if we point out from using that thing, using red, so we will say that this particular point is that point where the slope is becoming equal to -1. If I say 1, then please understand it is the modulus value, the mod of this slope. If we have to say the actual slope, then it should be -1, right? So here the slope is -1, here the slope is -1, right? Or maybe let me write it as this dV out by dV in this region is 1. Here also dV out by dV in is equal to -1, right? Okay. Now if we take a perpendicular line from here, right, to this x-axis, then that will cut this x-axis to some point, right? Here also we will do the same thing, right? We'll see why we are selecting it at -1 and here also at -1, but a bit today only, but a bit after some time, So here this point, if we say like this point is VIL, and this point if we say this is at VIH. I think H is not a bit clear, so let it make me clear, this one. So this is VIL and this is VIH. Fine. Okay. And so yeah, so if we say that this point is VIL, so this VIL signifies the maximum value of input voltage for which the output is expected to be on 1, means the logic high, right? So please try to understand it again. So VIL is the maximum value of input voltage, right? Because input voltage, anything from here till here, like for this range, for that value of input voltage, the output is expected to be 1 or high, right? So VIL is voltage for which the output is expected to be low or at logic 0. See here, so from here till this point, right? So this point is to be considered as logic 0 for in. This is considered as logic, sorry, from input side, right? Logic 1 from input side, and this is to be considered as logic 0 from input side, right? Is that part clear to you? And why particularly from this point, like from the slope of -1, that we'll try to clarify after some time. Okay, so we have identified here this point, this point, this point, this point. 4 points we have already identified. Okay, now if we take one line from here, right, from this point to this output axis, right, this particular point we will term it as VOH. So you understand what is VOH? VOH is the value of output voltage when the input voltage is VIL. Now you know what is VIL. So with that you can define what is VOH, right? Then similarly from here, if you take a line on this axis and if we say this is as VOL, right, then we say that this point VOL is the output voltage when the input voltage is VIH, right? So we have also added now 2 more points in this voltage transfer characteristics. Okay, another thing is that this is V out and this is V in, right? If we now plot a line which corresponds to V out equal to V in, right? So basically then this is a straight line, right, with a slope of 1, right? So let us plot that. This is this line, right, with a slope of 1. So this line will intersect the voltage transfer characteristics at a particular point, right? So this particular point where it intersects is called the VTH, or the switching threshold. Right, switching threshold of this inverter. So right, that means technically anything below this VTH can be considered as logic 0. Anything above this VTH can be technically considered as logic 1 input. I'm saying from the input point of view, right? So you understand what is VTH, and please, this is VTH is the, sometimes it's also called the threshold voltage of that particular inverter or a particular logic gate. Please do not get confused with please do not get confused with this VTC and the VTC of the transistor, right? So VTC of this NMOS or a PMOS is the threshold voltage where it starts conducting, right? But this V small t small h is the switching threshold, okay, for a particular gate, and it denotes that below, it denotes a particular input voltage below. If the input voltage is below that voltage, then you can say that input to be as a logic 0. If it is above that, then you can consider to be as logic 1, right? And for threshold voltage of transistor, we will use the notation V capital T small h, right? So this is the threshold voltage of transistor. Right, we will use this notation. For N channel, we will use N. For P channel, we will use this, right? And we will use this V small t h for this to denote the switching threshold or the threshold voltage of this inverter. Okay, so here we have also now added one more point, which is this one, right? Okay. Now, between these 2 points, which color I can choose? Maybe this, right? See, between this color is fine if I highlight it like this. So between these 2 points, VIL and VIH, the region, okay, where the slope is quite high, right? And that region is called the transition region. Okay, so if I have to draw it, then I will draw it like this. Transition region. Okay, and the width of this transition region is expected to be as small as possible, right? Because you have to always compare it with the ideal VTC, right? Ideal VTC is like this, where the slope is infinite, right? This is the ideal one, right? So obviously you can say from here that the transition region is expected to be as small as possible, or the slope is expected to be as high as possible in this region, right? Okay, right. Here, one more point I would also like to mention here. See here, this logic 0. If I say logic 0 from the input side, so that means any voltage between this, right, from here till here can be considered as logic 0, right? Similarly, any voltage between VIH and the maximum voltage, maybe the VDD, right, that can be considered as logic 1. So this in digital means the logic levels in digital circuits, these are not represented by the quantized voltage values, right? But rather they are given by some voltage range, right? So if I say that this logic 1, so please do not think that logic 1 means always plus 5 volt and logic 0 means always some always 0 volt. No, it is not like that, right? But when I say that, or when we say this as logic 1, okay, these are some range of input voltage, right? Similarly, for logic 0 also it indicates a range of input voltage, right? So these things are important. Understood? Yeah, any question?
No, sir.
So can you define VTH again? The switching threshold. You said
Okay,
that below it
right.
we consider low voltage, right? Matlab low logic low, right?
Uh, yeah, so how to define, are you asking how to define this VTH?
Yeah, so I'm confused as in like we have already said that till VIL I'm considering logic 0 and for
Right,
VIH I'm considering logic 1.
right,
So
right.
and then I think you said that VTH is also
Technically, from
some.
anything below VTH, okay, can be considered as logic uh, 0, right?
Yeah,
Point.
but I'm saying that like we have already made a statement about from where to where we are considering it as logic 0.
Right, right. So what we are saying that we should consider logic 0 from this point to this point, right? And logic 1 from this point to this point. Is this part clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, while we are defining the threshold voltage, we'll see that. Okay, again, technically, any voltage below VTH, like means, if I say also draw from a point here, right? Technically, any voltage below this can be considered as logic 0, because this inverter gate, due to its property, it has this regenerative, it can reduce the noise as it moves on. Okay, we'll discuss that. Okay, but yeah, this region, as I mentioned you, this is a transition region. It's better not to use this region. Means technically it's possible that you, if you bias it in this region, you will also, this gate will also operate, but we should try to avoid this region, because, and anyway, for a good design, this characteristics I have really drawn it like this so that I can pinpoint, but technically you should have a characteristics almost like this, right? So this region will be very, very sharp. So that way the width of this region on this VT, the difference between this VTH and this VIL will be very small. But technically it's possible that anything below VTH can be considered as logic 0, and above VTH can be considered as logic 1. Is this clear, Andhra?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, I think more will be clear when we'll discuss its, the performance of this inverter if, due to the presence of noise. Huh? Okay, so here, so you can see, if we consider this pump, any voltage between this and this, right, between 0 volt and VIL as logic 0, right, then we can say any voltage from here, right, from this VOH level, okay, till the highest value available to a particular inverter or to a particular inverter system, that is the VDD, right? Anything from here, VOH till above, can be considered as output logic 1. Fine. Similarly, from this VOL, anything below VOL, below means for this case maximum maybe 0 volt. So from VOL till 0 volt, any voltage can be considered as output logic 0. So just to give you some idea from here, see here, in case of this inverter, right, any voltage which is in this range can be considered as logic 1, logic 0 for input side. Similarly, any voltage between this, between VIH and VDD can be considered as logic 1 in the input side, right? So that means, suppose you have given 0 volt, right? But due to noise, that 0 volt has changed and has become 0.2 volt. So maybe you are operating from 0 point, not here, you are operating here. But still, due to the nature of this VTC of this inverter, right, the gate will still consider this value of 0.2 volt, which is actually means disturbed due to the presence of noise, to be as logic 0, right? So similarly, suppose you want to give the value of logic 1, which is at 5 volt for a particular case. Suppose due to presence of noise, again that voltage got changed and become 4.8 or 4.7 volt, right? So you are not operating here, but you are still operating here. But again, this logic gate will consider this deviation, which is around 0.2. It will not consider the deviation while giving you the output. So that way you can say these digital circuits have some tolerance to the external noise. More will be clear to you when we will really discuss in the next page. here some of the things might look to you bit type of discrete, because now we are introducing couple of new things, right? So but once this definition of these terms and these things will be get clear, and when we will take one single example with a resistive NMOS inverter, then I think it will be clear to you, very much, like it will be type of crystal clear to you. So here we are also going to define some more terms in terms of noise for for an inverter gate, and we will call those things as noise margin. But we'll see what this noise margin is really is. Huh? So, but before that, say we have an inverter, okay, which is this, right? So here this is inverter 1, okay, and which is there is another inverter which is this. This is inverter 2. Fine. Okay. Now this is one inverter output. This is the input of another inverter, second inverter. So in between you need some path. So let us say that path is the interconnect. You have to obviously use some interconnect, right? This interconnect may be some metal, maybe some polysilicon line like this, right? So you have connected through interconnect the output of this to this input, right? Okay. And let us say two cases. So first case 1, okay, when you have given some input, okay, some input in the high side, right? Some input in the high side means maybe 5 volt, 4.8 volt, 4.7 volt, like this, okay. So if you have some input to this higher side, then at this output, what you can expect? You can expect some lower voltage, right? So let us denote it as VOL. So again, if you are confused with this notation, so let me draw this VTC again here for your quick. Otherwise, we have to move back and forth from here. This is V. What is this point? What is this point?
VIL and VIH.
Right. Right. This is VOH. This is VOL. Right. Okay. So suppose you have some input here, right here, and which is actually not completely VDD, but you have some due to presence of some noise here. It is somewhat in this range, VIH range, so that the output is here, this VOL. It can be below VOL, that is fine, right? But the maximum output low that is possible is VOL. We are considering that case, that we are getting an output after this inverter which is VOL, right? Fine. Then this VOL has to pass through this interconnect, and then it has to go to the input of this inverter 2. Okay, let us say that there is no noise in between. Okay, so fine. So directly VOL is going. So VOL is very low, maybe around 0.2 volt, maybe or 0.3 volt is fine. So 0.2 volt is the now input for the second inverter, right? Fine. So 0.2 volt, where does it stay? Here. So if the 0.2 volt is the input for the second inverter, then the output is expected to be above VOH, right? Or at least VOH. So we are saying that so minimum output voltage here is VOH, right? Okay. So if the minimum output voltage is here VOH, so what should be the minimum input voltage to this inverter? See here, if the minimum output voltage has to be VOH, the minimum input voltage has to be VIL, isn't it? Right? Right. So now try to compare.
Not minimum.
Sorry?
Sir, you said it was a minimum input voltage. Shouldn't it be maximum input voltage?
Sorry, you are right. It should be the maximum, right? Minimum is the 0, right? So from 0 till maximum VIL, like any voltage here. But to get the output voltage as VOH or logic high, the maximum voltage you should apply is VIL, right? Okay, right? You understand, right? From here. Now say that due to the presence of noise, okay, so in between, noise is got introduced in this system, and this value of VOL has changed, okay, to some other value, right? But if you want the logic operation to be correct, means you have given here logic 1, then here you are expecting logic 0, then here logic 0, then here logic 1, then this output VOL should not cross the value of VIL. So is that clear to you? VIL can be lower than VOL, fine. VIL can be 0, fine. But this input voltage cannot increase or cannot go beyond this VIL, right, from our definition. So what we are then saying is that maximum this VOL value can go to this VIL, and so that means this interconnect, the maximum amount of noise that can be introduced, but that will not affect the output of the second inverter, is this minus this. If you want to see it graphically, then you follow this point, right? VOL is this, right? This much, right? VIL is this, right? So you see there is a good amount of difference in the, they are in the magnitude of these values, right? VIL is this, VOL is this. So the difference between these two is the maximum amount of noise that this circuit can tolerate without malfunctioning. So is it clear? Guys, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here,
Sir,
Sir, but here we are not considering the threshold, switching threshold, right?
here we are not considering Ganeshwar.
Yes.
This threshold voltage concept now we will take little bit later on. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Threshold voltage is here, but here we are considering that the point is here. I mean, from here till here, we are trying to avoid this region, right? This transition region. So,
Yes, sir.
okay. Suppose case 2 also let us consider. So case 2, okay, here we have logic 0. Logic 0 is not also the ideal logic 0, it's type of also corrupt logic 0. Okay. So here, if you have a logic 0 at this input, then at this output, right? So what do you expect? It is logic high, right? Okay. But if this is corrupt, then obviously this will also not be at fully 5 volt, right? It will also be somewhat corrupt. But what is the minimum value of VOH that we can expect? That is VOH, right? That is this value, right? Output voltage for to be considered as logic 1, it has to be above this, right? So if this is VOH, right, and again there is some interconnect where noise has introduced, that is fine. But if this is VOH, which is means this is at logic 1, so if this is logic 1, so after another second inverter, we are expecting it to be as logic 0, right? So logic 0 means the maximum value is expected to be VOL here, right? So if we have to get the maximum value here VOL at this output, then what is the what should be the value, or what is the minimum value of this at this input side that you can apply? That is nothing but VIH. Am I clear? So please check it out. It is the same thing I am doing, what we have done here. case 1, the same thing I am doing it here. Please check it out. If it is not clear, please let me know. If it is VOH, right, then VOH is this one, right? Right? And if it is VIH, VIH is this one, right? This is the deviation from, we are taking the deviation from, the maximum voltage VDD. So you can see again the value of VIH, the deviation from this maximum value is much higher compared to that of this VOH. So that means due to noise, this VOH value is allowed to change, but this VOH value should not fall below this VIH. Otherwise, this inverter, second inverter will not be able to reproduce the logic 0 at its output. So is this part clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if we have to suppose draw or represent this thing bit graphically, which will also, clear our understanding, I hope. So let us do that. Let us do step by step. Let us say that we have this input side of, okay, anyway, please excuse my bad drawing here. So suppose we are plotting, okay, let me first draw it, otherwise it will be a bit difficult for me. So what we are doing here, plotting one vertical line is, no, this will not work. So here, this is the, we are considering the input voltage. Okay, so input voltage, this is at again logic 1, and this is at logic 0. Okay, so then for this input, for logic 1, okay, that is here, the maximum in voltage that you can apply is VDD, right? So if this is VDD, minimum voltage that to be considered for, that can be considered as input voltage logic 1 is VIH. So this is VIH, right? Okay, for logic 0, the minimum voltage is obviously 0. The maximum voltage, that is this one, which can be still considered as logic 0 input, is VIL, right? So there will be gap between this VIL and VIH. So this is the transition region, right? Is that clear to you? Okay. Now see, we are trying to plot the output here. Okay, so for output, the maximum value can be VDD, right? So output maximum is VDD. Output minimum is, that can be considered as logic 1 output is VOH. This is VDD. This is VOH. Minimum value of output which can be considered as logic 0 is 0 volt, right? From this image only you can see. Minimum value of output which can be still considered, a maximum value of output which can be considered as which can be considered as logic 0 is VOL. right? Okay, now you see that this separation and you see this separation, right? So this is the output voltage. Okay, so suppose you have one inverter here, another inverter here, and they are the same inverters, huh? So the output of this inverter is, it can vary anything from here to till here, right? The output of this inverter, if the inverter output has to be treated as logic 1, that is fine, right? Okay, but due to some noise, if this value or the voltage has changed, so how much this voltage can change so that the input of this, the second inverter, will still consider this input as logic 1 input is this, right? VIH, right? So that means this much noise, right? This much means VIH minus VOH, this much noise can be introduced in this interconnect or between that, but it will not affect the operation of this inverter, right? So this particular noise is called noise margin, right? Denoted by NM. So this is also the noise margin. This is for lower case, because again, if you say the other scenario, consider the other scenario. If this output here is logic 0, so logic 0 means anything is possible between this. Fine. But the maximum value that is possible is this one, right? And the maximum value at the input of this, which can be still treated as logic 0, is this one, VIL, which is this, right? So that means if due to some noise, the output of this in between, due to the presence of interconnect, get corrupted, so the maximum value, it should not reach this VIL. So that means we have still this amount of voltage level in our hand, right, which can tolerate the presence of noise. So this noise margin, okay, as it is for logic level low, it is called NML, and this is for logic level high, so it is called NMH. Logic level means noise margin for low, noise margin high, right? So then if we have to write it in term of some notation, then it is noise margin low, it is basically VIL minus VOL, and noise margin high is basically VOH minus VIH. So is this clear? The concept of noise margin?
Yes, sir.
So is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now I think if it is clear, then let me go to the next page and quickly discuss why we have taken this -1 slope, means why we have considered why this -1 slope is bit important, right?
Sir, can we leave? We have a lab at 2 again.
Sorry?
Sir, we have a lab at 2 again. So,
Oh, okay. So give me another 2-3 minutes, just this one, huh? Oh, okay. Yeah, I have not noticed that it cost. Just 2-3 minutes, I will finish, huh? So this is V in, this is V out, right? So what we have seen that up to certain point it is flat. After that the slope has slope is increasing, and at a certain point it become -1. Then the slope further increases, right? Here slope is again -1, then further decreases. Okay, so let us point out these two regions, right? Now the thing is that why we have defined these 2 points here, that is V input low and V input high. right? Why we have defined we for these two, okay, slope, mod of slope is 1. Why we have considered these two? That is because you see this is nothing but the plot of output versus input, right? So if the slope is less than, if the below that the slope is less than 1, right? So if there is some noise in this region, okay, that will not get actually amplified because here the slope is, here slope is less than 1, mod of slope is less than 1, right? So that will not get amplified if there is still this is some noise. It is basically type of get attenuated in this region. So similarly here the slope is also less than 1, mod of slope. So here also if there is some noise, there is any noise, then that noise will also get attenuated, right? So that was the reason why we have actually specified these 2 points VIL and VIH with a particular slope of -1, okay, not any other slope, okay, because in this region if you take, right, in this region if some noise is there, that because the gain is very high, right, that noise will also get amplified, right? So that's why we have kept our definition, we have kept in our definition this VIL and of definition of VIL and VIH, these two conditions, like here slope is equal to -1, here slope is equal to -1, right? Now as some of you have asked like why not we are not considering this region, because the threshold voltage technically we have defined it here. That one we will try to explain in the next class. Okay then.